She had the looks of a cover model, the Instagram life everyone envied, and a millionaire boyfriend who seemed to give her everything she wanted. But behind the glossy photos and champagne smiles, there was a secret, one that ended with a brutal murder in the desert, a web of lies, and the shocking fall of a former Playboy model. This is the story of Kelsey Turner, a model who went from magazines and mansion living to an orange jumpsuit and a prison sentence. In tonight's episode of Dark Lore with Shadows, we're stepping into a world of luxury, deception, and deadly betrayal. The truth, it's darker than the desert night where it all ended. Before we begin, hit subscribe to Dark Lore with Shadows, because every week we unravel the true stories that hide in the shadows. On Instagram, Kelsey Turner was the picture of success. Sun-kissed skin, designer dresses, sipping champagne on yachts, lounging in million-dollar homes. To her followers, she was living the dream. But Kelsey's reality was more complicated. Behind the filters and perfect angles was a woman juggling careers as a glamour model, adult entertainer, and aspiring influencer. Each role a piece of a carefully curated illusion. Then came her golden ticket, a wealthy 71-year-old California psychiatrist named Dr. Thomas Burchard. To the outside world, he was a respected medical professional, the kind you might trust with your most personal secrets. To Kelsey, he became something else entirely, a financial lifeline. Dr. Burchard paid her rent, covered her bills, and funded her lavish lifestyle. The arrangement raised eyebrows among those who knew them, but no one could quite pin down what their relationship really was. Was he a friend, a father figure, or something far more complicated? Either way, the money kept coming, until it didn't. And when the payments stopped, so did the illusion of that glamorous life. If you think you know where this is going, you don't. Subscribe to Dark Lore with Shadows, because the truth is about to turn deadly. By early 2019, cracks in Kelsey's picture-perfect life were starting to show. She'd moved into a Las Vegas home with her boyfriend, John Logan Kennison, and her roommate, Diana Pena. But behind the walls of that suburban house, the atmosphere was tense. Money was tight, tempers were short, and trust was running thin. Dr. Thomas Burchard, the man who had once bankrolled Kelsey's every luxury, had begun pulling back. He wasn't just slowing the payments, he was questioning where his money had gone. Rumors swirled that he suspected Kelsey had lied to him, and worse, stolen from him. On March 1st, 2019, Dr. Burchard flew into Las Vegas, telling friends he intended to sort things out with Kelsey. It would be the last trip he ever made. What exactly happened that day is still a matter of debate, but here's what police believe. At some point after meeting, an argument turned violent inside Kelsey's home. Whether it was over money, betrayal, or something more personal, we may never fully know. But the confrontation escalated to a point that couldn't be undone. Hours later, in the middle of the Nevada desert, an abandoned blue Mercedes was found, its trunk hiding a horrifying secret. Type to knives, close tight.
Think you've heard dark stories before? The one we're about to step into will stay with you long after the screen goes dark. Make sure you're subscribed to Dark Lore with Shadows so you don't miss the rest. March 7th, 2019. In the wind-swept outskirts of Las Vegas, a group of off-roaders spotted something strange. A dusty, abandoned blue Mercedes parked miles from the nearest home. Its rear window was shattered, glass glittering on the sand like tiny shards of ice. When police opened the trunk, the desert heat hit them, and so did the stench. Inside was the lifeless body of Dr. Thomas Burchard, stuffed into a blanket. The scene was brutal. Blunt force trauma to the head, multiple fractures. The weapon? A baseball bat. Detectives quickly linked the car to Kelsey Turner. This wasn't just a random killing. It was personal. They also discovered something chilling. The trunk latch had been broken from the inside, suggesting Dr. Burchard might have still been alive when he was placed there. Within hours, the investigation closed in on Kelsey's Las Vegas home. Inside, officers found bloodstains, signs of a struggle, and the kind of quiet that feels heavy, like the walls themselves are holding secrets. Neighbors would later tell reporters they'd noticed tension between Kelsey, her boyfriend, John, and Dr. Burchard in the weeks before his death. But no one imagined it would end here, in the barren silence of the Nevada desert. If you're feeling the chill of this story, stay with us. Subscribe to Dark Lore with Shadows. Because the deeper we go, the more twisted it becomes.
It didn't take long for police to piece together the triangle at the center of the murder. Kelsey Turner, her boyfriend, John Logan Kennison, and her roommate, Diana Pena. 3 people, 1 dead man, and a tangled mess of loyalty, fear, and lies. When questioned, Diana Pena cracked first. She told detectives that Dr. Burchard had been in the house the day he died, and that an argument with Kelsey and John spiraled out of control. She claimed John grabbed a baseball bat and struck the doctor in the head. The blows didn't stop until he collapsed. Diana's account painted a horrifying picture, and it put Kelsey right there in the middle of it. According to her, Kelsey didn't just witness the violence, she helped cover it up. Together, they loaded the doctor's body into the trunk of his own car, drove it into the desert, and abandoned it like yesterday's trash. Kelsey denied it all. She insisted she had nothing to do with the killing, that she was being framed. But the evidence was stacking up. The car was linked to her. Blood was found in her garage, and Diana Pena's story was disturbingly consistent. With John facing murder charges and Diana agreeing to testify in exchange for a lighter sentence, Kelsey's glamorous façade was cracking fast. Target. You've seen influencers fall from grace, but this one's about to shatter in slow motion. Make sure you're subscribed to Dark Lore with Shadows, because the ending isn't the ending you expect. By 2022, the glamour was gone. No designer dresses, no Instagram filters, just Kelsey Turner in a courtroom, wearing a prison jumpsuit instead of a bikini.
her once carefully constructed image stripped bare for the world to see. John Logan Kennison had already taken a plea deal, admitting to second-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. He was sentenced to 18 to 45 years in prison. His testimony, along with that of Diana Pena, put Kelsey in the crosshairs. Facing the weight of the evidence, Kelsey did what many never saw coming. She entered an Alford plea. It's a rare legal move, essentially saying, "I'm not admitting guilt, but I know the prosecution has enough to convict me." It was a way to dodge a full trial, but it still meant prison. The judge handed down a sentence of 10 to 25 years. As she was led away, the social media star who once posed in luxury homes was now just another inmate number in the Nevada prison system. Dr. Thomas Bircher's friends and family were left with the truth they already knew, that no amount of justice would bring him back. He was remembered not just as a doctor, but as a kind, generous man whose final act of generosity may have cost him his life. In the world of influencers and glossy perfection, you only see what they want you to see. But here, at Dark Lore with Shadows, we pull back the curtain, because sometimes, behind the smile, there's the scream.
Kelsey Turner's story is a reminder that the life you see online is never the full story. Behind every perfect photo can be debts, lies, and desperation quietly festering in the shadows. For Dr. Thomas Birchard, generosity was second nature. But in the end, that kindness became the very thing that placed him in harm's way. His murder wasn't a random act. It was the final, violent chapter in a relationship built on uneven ground from the start. The fall of Kelsey Turner is not just the fall of a model or an influencer. It's the fall of an illusion. And illusions, no matter how beautiful, always shatter when you look too closely. Some crimes happen in the heat of the moment. Others are a slow burn. This one, it smoldered for years before it finally erupted in violence. If you were drawn into this story, if you believe the truth is often stranger and darker than fiction, hit that subscribe button and join us here at Dark Lore with Shadows, because there are more stories out there waiting in the dark. Low, haunting music fades out to silence.